Everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's good to be back here with you. We've got a guest on the channel today, Mr. Owen. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thanks,
yeah, let's get right to it.
Because majority of Palestinian people, from my understanding, are like 18. Like
Yeah, there's such a...
like realistically speaking, you see all that and you cannot blame people for being angry. Same way you cannot blame Israeli people for being angry after October 7th.
Sure.
Now, obviously, there is a means to an end. At some point, you have to realise. That's why I think, like, going into the future, it's gonna be very interesting to see how it goes out. See if this vengeance still continues.
I hate to be the devil's advocate in this case, but there is an Al Jazeera journalist called Wahel El Dadu. This man, he's lost his wife, his kids, and he's a journalist as well, and he lost his elder son, which was like 27 years old, killed in an airstrike on an ambulance. He's obviously a press member, and he was killed. This man has lost his entire family just in the space of 105 days. He is a journalist. Under the Geneva Conventions, journalists are meant to be protected. Hospitals are meant to be protected. Libraries are meant to be protected. Religious buildings or cultural sites are meant to be protected. So far, we've seen a total decimation of the Gaza Strip. 80% of the building, of the infrastructure has been destroyed.
There's nothing left.
They've brought the fight so far, they have pushed the Palestinian people at the edge of Rafah, which is basically on the border with Egypt. Over 1.6 million people are displaced at the edge of the border, and they are still getting striked every single day till now. All these images, what do you think kind of make an average Palestinian youth, what kind of sentiment will it be feeling towards
Well, they don't see any of this.
his neighbors?
The thing is, they don't see us anywhere. They do all they get of the outside world is Israel. That's all they have. They have no support from really any other country. They don't really have much due to all this stuff being cut off to them. They don't really get internet or communication.
There's been over 8 days now. They've been
so
in
they're
total
just gonna feel
shutdown.
lonely. They're just gonna feel abandoned.
And they are being. That's why every single one of us that are not speaking up about this right now, being silent about this, you never know what will happen tomorrow. The world is constantly changing. And just because we feel someone is weak today, you never know they might be strong tomorrow.
Well, that's Israel. That's Israel's story, isn't it?
Israel
Israel starts off weak, and then it got stronger and stronger and stronger, and then now they're becoming the oppressors.
Wow. I do understand that the Jewish people went through Holocaust, and they've always been persecuted throughout their history.
In the same way, I do not blame any Palestinian people for joining Hamas due to the fact they've got literally no other choice. And they've been born into a
blockade, a total blockade.
They've been born into this horrible situation. They've had no choice in life.
One important figure we have to talk about today is Benjamin Netanyahu. He is the Prime Minister of Israel, and for the longest time, he's one of the longest running Prime Minister. His entire premise is about securing Israel entirely, and all Israel owning Judea and Samaria, as they say in the Bible, which means taking over the entire territory.
Which is important to mention as well. He is very unpopular within Israel.
That is true.
I believe at this point now he more aligns with Zionism than he does traditional Jewish people.
Sure.
The amount of, I think there's an account on Twitter or X, which now is tracking celebrities who are saying ceasefire, and the majority of them are Jewish.
In regards to media as well, we can see that there's been heavy censorship going on, especially in Israel. Gideon Levy is one of the Jewish publicist, and he has basically said the Jewish people living in Israel basically had no idea of the horrific images that was coming out of Gaza every single day. They've kind of been like in a bubble thinking what the IDF is doing in Gaza is holy.
Well, yes. But all they could see was October 7th. So I do not blame people at all for the initial urge to kind of
go in. I don't understand that, but now it's going to a stage now, especially with the case against it now. Now they couldn't obviously censor that because that was for the whole world to see.
Yeah.
And when they saw what the South African legal team actually brought to the table when it comes to evidence and the case against Israel, they couldn't, like, even presenters on TVs, they couldn't actually hide it anymore, because when they bring on like officials from the Israeli government and they kind of like speak, and as soon as they ask them a question about why do you guys do this, South Africa said you guys did so and so. Did you guys do it? And every single one of those officials will basically just refer back to October 7th. And it got so bad, one of them actually just kicked the official out of the studio. It's actually insane. Like, this is actually happening right now. This is the first time ever where we've seen a very public government that is kind of just stating their goals. We are going to do this. There's been a case where one of the officials said we're going to nuke the whole of Gaza, where they call them animals.
There's a lot of...
It's just basically out there, and they even played some of these clips at the ICJ for everybody to see. There's been a case where soldiers were basically filming themselves while they literally blew up libraries, schools. This fact is evidence. It's just out there. The whole world can see it. Like this, this is televised from everybody to see.
Now, I think it is consensus to say now that Palestine is becoming a very popular cause to support, maybe. Yeah, but it was not popular in a way, but like it's becoming more recognised. But in terms of like, but Jewish people, it's so important to them. Israel is. But it's incredibly, it's hot. It's hot to touch, because if you support. If the support Israel because of how important it is to Jewish people, and Jewish people do make up a large majority, do make up a large part of this country.
We do not have to support any side. What we should support is, or what we should focus on is the human side of it.
Exactly.
The fact that two wrongs do not make a right. If you get what I mean, like, we can't say just because this happened, it justifies for this to happen. Mistakes happen. When 9/11 happened in America all those years ago, America obviously was on the path of vengeance. They invaded a couple of countries, and obviously we all saw how much of a mess that
took decades.
It took decades, and luckily enough, America, Joe Biden went to Israel and he said we shouldn't make the same mistakes we made. And that was in the early days of the war, and now Israel has gone ahead and basically do worse, and now it's even escalated to a point where we don't even know what can happen tomorrow. We wake up, we hear the news, this strike has happened, that strike has happened, this has happened, and the one country we all depend on to kind of like champion freedom, justice, it's non-existent in some way. It's very, very scary.
That's why I say it's scary, because we could maybe put this on Joe Biden, but I feel like the two options coming up this year was Joe Biden and Trump. Trump would probably be worse. So I think realistically, like I said, that's the scary part about it. So, but all you can really do is protest if you can, and not like but I don't know. It's just scary. Man.
For the longest time, when it comes to war, the first casualty of war is the truth. The truth gets lost in the fog. So far, what we've always been saying is the sides. You hear this person's side, you hear this other person's side. What we can do as neutral, because this, as much as this doesn't affect me directly now, but the more it escalates, obviously, it will.
And it is escalating.
So, I am not taking anybody's side. I just basically, based on what we know, what we've seen, Israel is a country with one of the best military capacities in the world. Hamas is a armed group fighting for the liberation of the people that have been oppressed for decades.
Which is actually what's as well. Hamas never started out like that.
They did not
start. It was a Muslim fundamentalists, and that's why that's why a lot. From what I've seen from reports, people don't really like Hamas.
Hamas started out as a terrorist group. They were carrying out suicide bombing, killing civilians. That is why they're designated as a terrorist group by the United States and Western allies.
There's nothing left in Palestine.
Look at what's happening to the people in the West Bank. Yeah. The fact that every single night they are raided and soldiers come in and just take someone from the house and just detain them without on administrative detention, where they basically have no right to go see or go through like the legal procedure, just get locked up for indefinite time. Just yesterday I was scrolling through social media and I saw a whole targeted ad that just wanted me to look at what Hamas has done on October 7th, and nothing mentioned the humanitarian disaster currently happening in the Gaza Strip. It just focused mainly on the captives, which justifiably can be. It focused on the people that has been affected from the border with the whole tensions rising, but not once did it mention.
That's because of how politically unbiased this whole conflict is.
Because
you cannot, it's very, very difficult to support both sides right now, because of how fundamental it is to Jewish people to support Israel, and how important it is to people to support Palestine, to support Hamas, even though you don't want to. It's that or nothing, and you can't be like that. They're so fundamentally against each other.
Yeah.
In many ways, because of the IDF and Netanyahu. I can never say his name. Netanyahu.
Oh, that's good.
Making it so violent and toxic. You cannot support both sides, even though in reality you should. It's innocent people on both sides.
Innocent people on both sides. That's just the victim. The whole victim here are
no one in right now.
The citizens of Palestine and Israel right now.
And that's why I feel like, and you mentioned about America being the key to all this.
They are.
They absolutely are, and I feel like that right now it's gone on deaf ears. However, I have got hope with this South Africa claim. Even though it's not, it hasn't gone as far.
So interestingly enough, because some international court of justice ruling always takes like years before it goes into binding resolution. But what South Africa has immediately called for is a kind of like pause, like some kind of like ceasefire deal just to stop the fight right now. And America has obviously said this is a plot just to waste time and something. We just kind of like disregard their whole case. America is obviously doing the lip service for Israel, but Israel is just out there just doing whatever they want to do.
And it's the first time that a country, this isn't a part of any media or any it's politics, but not like this part of an independent country in this coming out and saying, look, Israel, what Israel doing is very much wrong, and it's coming from wrong. South Africa, like you said, in the 90s, apartheid, and all
as well.
That the one country that can come out and say this to actually make a difference has come out and said
it. That is important,
and that is fundamental to all this. And hopefully, if there's one thing that can go right in the world, that will be remembered, and that will be supported by other major countries like USA, like UK, that can actually make a difference.
Wow.
But it just depends on how optimistic you are at this point, because
at this point it's very hard to be optimistic, especially with all the rising tensions currently happening. We see Iran, Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan.
Yeah, it's just everywhere.
All this. I would say global hotspots that are just on the brink of on the brink of something disastrous, to be more pessimistic.
And being at the start of the new year as well, it is scary. I have honestly no clue what's going to happen this year.
Like, come to think of since 2020, we've just been hit with different world-changing news. 2020 came with coronavirus. 2021 we kind of like bounced back from coronavirus. 2022 we heard about the invasion. 2024 or 2023 we heard the Israel Palestine.
In many ways, I feel that you could blame a lot of this Russia, Ukraine, Israel, and the Chinese and Taiwan due to COVID, because I feel like it affected countries so harshly that they're like, we want this land, we want this, we want this, we want this. And I feel that could be a major part of it.
That's true. That's very interesting.
It not only did all this COVID stuff affect us financially, it affected us bloody mentally. You mean? And I feel like a lot of the government were feeling very powerless during that time because they were waiting on vaccines, or they were waiting on mandates, they were waiting on this and that. And at first I'm like, okay, we're free now. I'm going to be the big man government, and I'm going to take over some bloody land. And I just think that's my psychological point of view from all this.
Well, everything obviously leads to each other, because nothing happens in a vacuum.
Yes.
Everything leads to another. That's what I believe has just been going on.
Yes.
From the corona, the 2020 that's happened up until 2024, it's just been one news and the other. A problem ends, another one begins. That's what we've been. But at the same time, we should still be hopeful that humanity prevails.
More important, I believe, in this instance, is voting. I think that this is going to be this is probably one of the most important times I've ever had in my entire life. Last
in
30 decades.
Humanity's history, I would say this is most important. What is unveiling right now? What is happening right now in modern history? This is one of the.
It's very.
It's like everything is on the brink. Yeah, I would say dangerous times.
And so it matters who is running our countries.
Indeed,
it really does matter now. And so I feel like if the one thing you can take away from this video, it's just when your local election comes by, genuinely vote for who you think will make it. Not what about for your area, and then that guy will go and make your whole country. Every little thing matters at this point.
Voting matters.
It does.
My really people in Nigeria, yes, please vote. Vote.
Please do.
That's our power.
That's the only
way. Vote.
Even though these days of how technology can be, maybe it can get faked, maybe this can happen, it can get hacked.
Yeah.
It's still the only voice we've got left.
That is true.
That will actually get respected.
The actual people that effected changes are in these institutions. This, your government. That's the only way we can actually make a change. We can keep talking about it from now to tomorrow, but if we don't do what we can by protesting, by also not being silent, by speaking about it, by having like discussions about these difficult topics, it kind of like makes us want to be puts us on the good side, because we are fighting for what we think it's right. This is what we've grown up on. This is what we've learned. This is what we believe in. We believe in the power of the people, the freedom of government, liberty. These are good values to actually believe in.
And it's time we actually live up to it.
And we have to live up to it. We have to live up, because our conscience will be fine if we just kind of like keep quiet. And this kind of tragedy is happening in Palestine.
Oh, wow.
In Palestine, but in the whole world in general, but more especially Palestine. What people of Gaza are going through right now. It's horrendous, just to say the least. Yeah. And I hope something does change. Thank you very much, guys, for watching that. If you found that interesting, please leave a like, a comment as well. Please also subscribe to the channel. That really helps a lot as well. Thank you, Owen, for coming over to.
Thanks for having me, mate.
For discussing this with us today. More videos are going to be coming up soon. I would appreciate if you can leave a comment down below. What would you like to see as well?